Joining us now is Anirban Banerjee, political analyst, Vikraman, spokesperson of the VCK, Vivek Srivastava, also political analyst, Tushar Gupta, senior editor, Swaraj. But my first question is to you, Wasiq, counter-extremism analyst in London. It's funny that just a couple of days ago, we had a very prominent newspaper write, and I quote, "What is Hindu nationalism and how does it relate to trouble in Leicester? Hindutva is the predominant form in India and has been associated with right-wing extremism. Yet these images that we see from Birmingham seem to be showing quite another side to who the extremist is."
Yes, well, that seems to be an issue that we have, particularly in the left-wing media. Now, I wrote an article actually examining this and looking at a particular newspaper that was reporting on the issue, and it's been at the forefront. And of all the 11 articles that it wrote about the riots that took place in Leicester and then recently in Smithwick, we found that Hindutva was mentioned 13 times, whereas Islamists was mentioned only once. Now, not just that, a whole article was also dedicated to Hindutva ideology, and the assertion was that it was a right-wing ideology. And what that demonstrates is that because it was a left-wing newspaper, it was also aiming at portraying everything as right-wing, as if everything right-wing is bad or something like that. And it doesn't really interrogate it whatsoever. And unfortunately, we're seeing this a lot with some other newspapers who, or at least in the media, who are focusing so much on Hindutva when we know and we've seen the footage of Islamists who are clearly breaking the law, clearly putting lives at risk, clearly making Hindus, British Hindus, feeling like they want to leave their homes for fear of religious persecution. And this is absolutely ridiculous.
Sorry to interrupt you, but when you see a video and I see a video, and surely these columnists also see a video where you have a mob, it's not a person, it's not a group, it's a mob standing outside a temple where a man is literally got his hands folded and shouting at him that you are a dirty, cow piss drinking, cow shit eating and another abuse. Where do they see Hindutva extremism in this exchange?
Well, they seem to think that by shouting Hindutva, any Hindu gives them license to then belittle them and to use derogatory comments, racializing them and using anti-Hindu sentiments towards them, because there is a perception that Hindus are somehow controlling everything in India. They're responsible for what the BJP government is apparently doing to everyone over there. And this is the perception that seems to come. And so when you have media who are also echoing this and being, ushered around the Leicester area with individuals who are known to have links to terrorist groups, or at least support to terrorist groups, this raises a massive concern for Hindus in Britain when they're being portrayed by other people in the media.
So is it because, Vivek Srivastava, you want to hate on the Indian government that these people who are not even remotely connected to the party, the RSS, the BJP, the government, are being thrown under the bus? What is their fault? That they are Hindus. So they have to be called these names.
Well, that certainly seems to be the case, yes.
See, first of all, whatever happened was wrong.
Yes, Vivek.
Yeah, first of all, whatever happened was wrong and we criticize it. Any kind of an attack on any kind of a religious congregation of people, be it the Hindus or the Muslims or anyone, is wrong. Violence is wrong. Saying bad words about the religious practices of any religion is also wrong. So we condemn it. That is the first part. But however, you also have to analyze one thing, that post 2014 Hinduism has been getting a very bad name. Hinduism was a very respected name world across. It was related to peace, it was related to meditation, it was related to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, it was related to blessings.
It still is. What has changed?
And post 2014,
these people in Birmingham were minding their own business. They were praying to their gods in their temple.
Yeah, let me complete. Please
doing garba in their locality.
I said I have condemned it.
What has changed?
I have condemned it.
But you just did a whataboutery with absolutely zero facts.
You also have to
what has changed after 2014 in this temple, in this particular case, where people are minding their own business?
As civilized Yes. Can I speak?
Yes.
Then please give me 30 seconds and let me complete. Kindly don't interrupt. As intelligent people, as people with some brains and education, and this country imparts good education, both Padmaja, you and all the panelists over here, we must analyze what is the root cause of these attacks.
What is the root cause?
Everybody is condemning it. Nobody is praising it.
What is the root
Nobody
cause?
is standing by it. People want the guilty to be punished. The root cause is that you have a fascist RSS which is running the country. Yeah, I'm telling you, you have the fascist RSS running the country by proxy here. Religious peace of this country is being disturbed. India has got a bad name. Hinduism has got a bad name.
How?
We are a deplored world over.
First of
we
all,
do not know who
this
broke
is
the
such
Babri
a
Masjid.
leap in so
we
many
do not
ways.
Know who broke the Babri
First
Masjid.
of all, sir,
there was
if
no
you
accused.
think, first of all,
so,
these people have got nothing to do with the government. You have made a leap that the government is fascist. Second, you have connected these people to the government. And I'm saying, even if this is a fascist government and they are functionaries of the government, how can you abuse them by calling them cow shit eating and cow piss drinking dirty people? This has got nothing to do with the government. This is about their religion. Because when you bring in the cow, it is with the explicit idea to attack their religious identity.
I'll tell you.
The cow has got nothing to do with the BJP. They don't own the cow.
I have condemned it, but the reality is, I mean, come on. The RSS says we own the cow. I mean, they are the champions. The cows are
you saying anyone who has a cow in their house or who respects and worships the cow in India is automatically associated with the BJP?
I am not saying
that. Is that your strange logic?
All I am saying is the bad
Because going by your logic, sir, Mahatma Gandhi himself would be of the BJP because it was Gandhiji who said that the most sacred animal for the Hindu is a cow. And which is why in India a cow must never be slaughtered. So going by your facile logic, Gandhiji would be a member of the BJP.
I do not know why you are getting Gandhi.
Because Gandhiji is the one who asked for the cow.
Above 5 inches.
But he was talking about Hindus and their sentiment, not about the BJP.
Gandhiji talked of peace. RSS does not.
Gandhiji also talked about cow and cow slaughter. Whether you like it or not, you might want to ignore it, but it's a fact. The first person who asked for cow slaughter to be banned in the country was Mahatma Gandhi himself. But let me bring in Tushar Gupta. Tushar Gupta, do you think that this is prompted because of links made with the BJP and the fascist government in India? Where does a cow fit into all this?
Good evening, Padmaja. Good evening, Padmaja. You know, Padmaja, people like Vivek Shrivastava are so frustrated in their hatred of the government that they are okay with innocent people being attacked in a different country just because it suits their political narrative. It's always sickening to hear people like Vivek Shrivastava. I'm sorry. But you know, Padmaja, in the 90s, early 90s, in West Bromwich, a Shri Krishna Mandir was burned down by the same arsonists who today are calling out Hindus celebrating their festivals as cow piss drinkers. In the 90s, there was no BJP in the center then. There was no Narendra Modi. So Vivek Shrivastava's argument of something happening post 2014 is absolutely bogus. On the day of Ganesh Chaturthi, Padmaja, just a few days back, there were stones and eggs thrown in the houses of the people who were celebrating the festival, just as they were getting ready for the Visarjan. Eggs thrown in there. Tell me, what do women celebrating Ganesh Chaturthi have to do with the RSS or the BJP? I understand you do not like the government. I understand you do not like the Prime Minister. But how can you justify in your political hatred an attack of eggs and other things on a house that is celebrating Ganesh Chaturthi with children there? You know, Padmaja, I've spoken to some people in Leicester and Birmingham. You know what they're telling me? This year, the parents are actually worried for their children to go out in the traditional way because they fear they might be attacked. Another video surfaced a few days ago where a girl which was dressed up for Navratri celebrations was being chased by one of these arsonists and he was calling out her to be a Hindutvavadi. What does a girl dressed for Navratri celebrations have to do with the RSS or the BJP? In this India or in this world, are we saying that if today I were to go out on the streets with a bag of crackers, wearing a nice kurta, holding a couple of diyas and some sweets, I would be branded as a fascist, as a worker of the RSS and not a Hindu first? When did becoming a Hindu and proud Indian overseas become all about RSS and the BJP? This is what people like Vivek Srivastava do. They do not acknowledge the racism, the Hindu phobia that is rampant over there. Instead, they make a foolish political argument that suits their political
narrative. What is the cause of the racism? No, what is the cause of the racism? Can you tell me the cause of the racism?
What is the problem with racism? Are you asking what is the
communal government running this country?
What is the problem with Hinduphobia?
No, what is the cause of the racism?
The cause is Hinduphobia, sir. How many times does one have to repeat it?
Have to do with the government.
You take somebody's symbol, you demonize it, you mock it, you basically turn it into an abuse. That is unbridled Hinduphobia. What can't you see? If somebody is called a cow shit eater, what do you think is the cause? The cause is they hate your religion.
No, Hinduphobia is wrong, Islamophobia is also wrong, all phobias are wrong. We are condemning all the phobias.
But sir, you don't even recognize it as Hinduphobia, you just attributed it to the Modi government. That is how ridiculous your reasoning is. You say, oh, Hinduphobia is wrong, but this is not Hinduphobia, this is a reaction to what Mr. Modi is doing in India. What on earth does it have to do with Modi at all? Let me actually, what do those poor girls who are dancing the Garba, for heaven's sake, they're not even adults, they are little children. They are dancing the Garba. They are being abused by some random guy who are saying these bloody Indians, these cowpits drink. They are little girls.
That's wrong.
You know, Padmaja.
They are the face of fascist Modi's India, according to you.
Padmaja, may I?
Everybody is condemning it.
Padmaja, may I? You know what people like Vivek Srivastava are implying? That if you do not like the government of India, it's okay to attack innocent Hindus anywhere in the world, just attribute it to the government in India. That is what this man is implying here. That's how ridiculous his line of reasoning is, and it must be called out.
I condemned the attacks.
Sir, just a second, okay, when you say you condemn, we've had a national newspaper, a very famous columnist here, Vikraman, and in other very reputed publications, where people have written things like Hindu nationalist ideology has begun to rear its head in the UK. In November 2019, British Hindus were targeted with WhatsApp messages which included videos by far-right anti-Muslim activists. So, the Hindus are targeted by far-right Muslim activists, but it's important to mention that that is because Hindu nationalism has started raising its head. Vikraman. I mean, what is Hindu nationalism? That you are practicing your faith.
If you give me... No, if you give me 30 seconds uninterrupted, I can explain what is RSS's Hindu nationalism. What do they mean?
What does it have to do with the attack on the temple? It is not about your hypothesis on the RSS's Hindu nationalism. I want to know what does it have to do with what happened to these people in the UK.
It is not the hypothesis I'm talking about. In 2014, wait.
Yeah.
Yes, that is what I'm coming to it. In 2014, the RSS's London version, which is HSS, Hindutva Swayam Sevak Sangh, has been conducting, sakas with London children of Indian origin, the Hindu children. They have been teaching the children, saying that Islam is very dangerous, worst religion. That is what they have been saying. And also, I would want to remind you that before Narendra Modi taking the post of Prime Ministership, he has been banned from entering the countries like UK and US. Now, after the Brexit, 2019 Brexit, the Britain doesn't have any other option to have a tie-up with India. That is why they are trying to cozy up with India. India as in the BJP and the Sangh Parivar in India. So they are trying to...
What does it have to do with people being attacked in their place of worship, sir?
So they are blaming it on the Islamist elements.
What does it have to do with people being attacked in their place of worship? First of all, if the HSS is holding shakas, that is not illegal.
From London and Birmingham. I'm telling you.
What evidence do you have that they are saying things like Muslims are bad?
Have been travelling to Leicester, and they are creating communal tension between Hindu and Muslims. They are ready to throw Hindus under the bus.
Wasiq, do you have evidence of this? Wasiq, do you have evidence of this? Because Mr. Vikraman has been travelling to Leicester. Since you are actually physically there, can you please tell us if there is any evidence of how the RSS is holding shakhas where they are creating communal tensions, resulting in an attack on temples?
Well, I'm not sure what evidence there is there. At the moment, we know that the RSS is not a proscribed group, a terrorist group here in the UK. I know it's not proscribed anywhere else around the world. So the assertion that it poses a similar threat to Islamist terrorism, for example, is very tenuous. In regards to, I think one of your panelists mentioned Brexit as one of the reasons that this seems to be inflaming. Well, this is incorrect, because we know that many ethnic minorities actually voted for Brexit, and this has now strengthened our ability to trade with countries such as India, such as Pakistan, and we don't actually have that. And I think another one of your panelists made the assertion that whilst he condemned the attacks on Hindus, he added a but. There is no but after attacking a Hindu. Any attacks against Hindus must be condemned, and that's it. There's no reason why anyone should be attacking anyone. And if you start to justify it, then you're basically excusing those attackers and giving them reasons to continue to do this, because they know that they're going to then be absolved of their crimes when people are adding the but to it. So I think that's actually shameful from one of your panelists.
Mr. Vikraman, so unfortunately your intelligence gathered on your extensive travels to Leicester is incorrect. Your whole assertion of RSS is inflaming passion.
Oh, your intelligence and your extensive travel is only correct.
Well, I'm not traveling,
so
Wasiq is right there.
I come to know that Padmaja travels to Leicester every single day,
I haven't travelled at all. I'm too poor to afford to travel there. Mr. Wasiq is actually there. He's sitting in the UK. And he is telling you, as a counter-extremism analyst, that your analysis is wrong.
There. We also have sources there.
Oh, you have sources.
We also have sources there, like you have.
Well, your sources should be corrected.
We have.
Because let me actually, hold on a second.
Parliament who has been given Basmati by the Indian government,
I regret
and
to
that
say,
person
are misleading
has been
you.
so Hindutva, right
your sources regrettably may be misleading you, because I want to quote to you from a police report that again has been filed from in UK and is not sourced.
We are worried
Here
about
is what one of the boys who was shamefully attacked in one of those racist
under the bus for their own benefit.
In one of those racist tirades, let me read out to you what one of the police complaints says. It's in black and white. This boy says, a group photo of me and my friends was spread online via social media, especially TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. On the photo, there was a caption to say, these are troublemakers linked to RSS, BJP. I am not linked to these things. I don't know what they are. Various posts encourage Muslim youth to attack us. Some of my buddies have been stabbed, so I'm really worried for me and my family's safety. I can't go to my job or go to my local area. I just want to go home in safety. This boy, who is a Patel Hindu boy, says, when I go out on the road, there are men in hoodies asking me, are you Hindu or Muslim? And he can't even step out and go to his job, sir. And you are talking about how Hindutva has inflamed passions?
Try to understand what I'm saying.
I am understanding, sir. But you perhaps cannot comprehend what I'm reading out to you in first person of people who are affected, of analysts who are seeing what's playing out in the UK. Let me bring in Anirban Banerjee. You've heard the complaints happening firsthand. There is no evidence to suggest that this was in reaction to something. Look at this video again. Let me just play out for you just 10 seconds of this. There is a man who actually, in the face of this disgusting abuse, comes by, does this, and is gesturing to people to calm down. Look at the kind of invective he is met with. Listen to this again.
You piss-stinking bastards! You piss-stinking, you dirty piss-stinking. This ain't Leicester, you cuz. This is Brompton. Fighting. You dirty piss-stinking. Go eat some cow. dick from cow.
Walking across, he is only with folded hands telling people to calm down. Anirban Banerjee. How did he invite this vile attack on himself?
Okay, so who is this Modi that is being referred to? It's surely not Lalit Modi or Nirav Modi. It must be the divider-in-chief, as known in the international quarters, that is being referred to. Now you want us to believe that a handful of people who will sing to their fascist master's tune and then claim that we have no connection whatever to our masters, and you want us to believe that. In fact, in the last program, I think, with you on this
what
same very
evidence do you have that they are in fact connected to Mr. Modi or the BJP or RSS? Since you make this with such confidence, what evidence do you have that they are connected?
What evidence do you have that this particular video or whatever videos you are shooting has not been shot by Mr. Tushar Gupta here?
He's Tushar Gupta, but anyway. Wasiq, since you are actually analyzing all these videos, now the next spin is that this is perhaps propaganda material that is shot by the Hindus themselves and circulated. What is your analysis of this latest,
shot these videos?
very deeply thought out analysis?
You are procuring these videos.
So you are absolutely right.
From where? What is the source?
After giving it deep thought, you have come up with a very plausible explanation. Let Wasiq explain it. Go on.
Yeah, well, I think it's ridiculous. I don't know why any community would want to self-harm themselves and make themselves out to look like victims. We know what we can see quite clearly. We've seen that there's been a number of arrests that have taken place as a result of these sorts of...
You are confusing
you have to let me finish making my point, please, and then you can come back to it.
Whether you are willfully doing that or ignorantly, I do not know.
Okay, let him finish, please. Go on, Wasiq.
And Hindus are not the
same. So I think it's ridiculous, and whether they're shouting Modi, whether they're shouting BJP, RSS, by discounting what's actually happening to the victims, you are nothing more than prioritizing the rights of the perpetrators over the victims. And it's quite clear as day that you've got police there protecting the victims of this crime. So the idea that this is them doing it by themselves, or that someone else should be blamed for why these Islamists are doing it, is absolutely ridiculous.
I'm just going to leave it at that. The reason that we are playing out each of these pieces of evidence, because this is bang in the middle of festival season. Imagine if you were physically scared